You guys ready? Yeah.
Join me in the pledge. Pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
We will, let's table the July 20 meeting minutes till the end. These things.
Yeah.
I wasn't here for that meeting. Approval of claims.
I'll make a motion to approve.
I will second that motion. All in favor? Aye. Go ahead and do the minutes now. James here. We'll approve the approval of the July 20th, 2026 meeting minutes.
I'll make a motion to approve.
I'll second. All in favor?
Aye.
Did you have any questions on the plan? Dusty?
Crew's been catching up on mowing. We started checking bus turnaround this week for the start of school. We put in a few driveway culverts. I started the blacktop list for September CC&G. I hope to have that finished maybe here in a week or so. Dare patcher's out patching, and we hope to start back on chip and seal either the end of this week or next. And also, I got Bridge 66 is due for replacement in 28 coming up. So I need to get started on engineering on that here shortly. Y'all want me to go ahead and get started on that?
I would say so.
And I think that's all I have. And we do have our next meeting, we'll have bids coming in for slide repair on Boulder Path for that FEMA repair.
Have you seen any more money out of FEMA from the floods over here?
No, they've paid up most all of our small project stuff we've done. I think these two slips and we might have a debris removal that they've yet to pay. But I think these two slips we got left is the majority of the money left.
What's the latest on the, we were talking last meeting about purchasing salt in advance?
I did go ahead and get
Okay.
that on the book, so I got 200 ton coming whenever they get time to get it. That will fill our salt barn up. We got 4 bays there, so we'll probably have about 600 some tons of salt sitting there. Which it depends on the winter. If we get a real hard one, it may not be enough to get us through, but it'll be safe.
And it looks like the state did some work by
They did.
the one that we talked about earlier in the year.
Yeah,
Jackson.
Thatch Ridge.
Yeah.
Yeah, I met with the state down there, probably a little over a month ago, and we looked at all that, and they come down and got it all ditched for us. So now we gotta go in and do our ditch work up through there and then reopen that big culvert up there where it crosses the road. And then hopefully that's.
Amazing how they change when you tell them no on something and before they get a project.
Well, and actually, it's a lot of miscommunication too.
Okay.
We had a meeting down here with NDOT, and we met some new people in there, different contacts, and the ball rolled right in.
Yeah, good.
That helped out a lot.
Are we, I assume we're still down to one tractor more?
Yeah, actually, the 2 long arms went down at the end of last week. We got one of them back on the road this morning, and the other one we're waiting on a rear window for, which should be in one day this week.
And the only other thing I can think of is, I think it's Bridge 16.
Yeah, we
Where we at
just
on
got so we had to do a little bit of redesign on that, for the bridge beams. We got all that fixed, and the beams are now sent to pre-stress, and we should be good to go on that.
We awarded that to a mother.
Yes. So we got all that lined back out, and the beams are ordering, so we should be, hopefully here in the near future, we'll be closing that.
Are they still gonna do it this fall?
soon as they hear back or get the meetings started with the pre-stress, they should be able to come in and start working. Once I get a closure date, I'll let you know. That's all I can do.
Safe passage. And then hear from them. YMCA.
Good evening, everybody.
For the
So YMCA is here today to propose a grant request from the county for $80,000 to help us sustain our operations and all of the programs that we provide to the community. You can see in your packet that I've attached an annual report that shows you the breakdown of our revenue and expenses, as well as provide some details about programs that we provide and how our membership is composed. Yeah, and then this year, so we've had some unexpected expenses come up this year. We are applying to other sources for funding as well. We have a lot of open grant applications right now. And we've got one out for our pool boiler, which needs to be replaced by October so that we can have the safe conditions for our student athletes to swim. Our lowest estimate for that is $40,000 currently. Like I said, we have another grant application out for that, but we just don't know if it's going to be funded at all or partially. So that was not in our budget for this year. And so far we're on track to have a balanced budget with county support, with a loss of about $2,000, which isn't too bad at all. Last year we had a loss of about $40,000. We had county funding of $60,000. Total grant funding last year was pretty high, very large part of our revenue mix. So far this year, we've received about $85,000 of grant funding, and we have over $100,000 of grant applications out right now. We're using a grant writer now, so that's helping us improve our cash flow a lot. So we've made a lot of progress. We're not doing so great right now as far as cash reserves go. It's making things like major repairs very difficult cash flow wise, and we're asking the county for support to kind of help us get back on our feet. We've got a lot of good things in the works. We are working with all the other rural, sections that have been invited to participate in the GROW initiative through the state. Multi-million-dollar 5-year funding opportunity that allows us to use our YMCA as a physical therapy center, basically. And we will receive new equipment, a couple body scanners that allow us to actually measure our participants' health data and outcomes, which is going to be really big in drawing a new membership base for us, I believe. So we have a lot of good things in the works, but we're still trying to recover from our shortfall in 2024.
How bad was 24? I'm just curious.
I'm sorry?
How bad was 24 on the shortfall or the
Well,
loss?
we ended up having a loss of $224,000 that year.
Okay.
It does include depreciation, so it would have been a little bit less. We got depreciation valued at about $139,000. So that was a difficult year, but we've become more efficient as a result, and we've been trying to redevelop our business model. Like I said, trying to tap more into the healthcare networks, looking for more partnerships. We got a grant to provide swim lessons to kids in Kentucky this year. Hopefully we can have some school partnerships come of that. So we're exploring other options, but it does take time to create these new revenue streams.
What has membership increased over the last year?
Our membership is kind of steady from last year.
And the boiler's 40,000, that's on top of the 80,000 that you need, or requesting.
Well,
If you don't get a grant.
I'm not sure how much the grant that we applied for would cover the boiler. It could be 15,000 or 8,000. We just don't know.
As you may or may not be aware, Ren, the 80,000, we didn't even start the year with $80,000 in that account.
Okay.
Do what?
There still isn't 80,000.
What's a ballpark?
Well, I grabbed the wrong, well, my bad. There's 96,000. I was looking at the code enforcement, I'm sorry,
That's what the rollover from,
from last year.
yes, we only started this
96.
year with 50, I think.
96 at the end of April.
Personally, I still have a lot of questions. I mean, I'm not going to vote from my standpoint for anything tonight. I understand that you guys have entered into something with Batesville. As I talked yesterday, I personally don't want to see any more agreements signed without you guys coming before us or us having a meeting with your board. There's an individual in the county that can help with your books, can look at them. He'll offer free services to look at your operating costs. And I can't remember what's your operating cost per month? I forget what.
It's ballpark $50,000 a month.
Majority, that's the pool.
It's kind of hard to say. It just varies month to month.
Well, it appears as though the majority of that's wages.
What?
If you look at their breakdown on expenses, it appears the majority of it's wages. This is kind of a play on numbers, really, this revenue and expense graph, because it's percentages and not dollars, number one, and it's showing depreciation as one of your higher expenses, which depreciation is really not an expense, right?
So I can speak to that. That information is what we are submitting in our 990, which is what's required by the IRS. So we have to present depreciation in our financial reports to the IRS.
Joe, are you wanting to?
But depreciation is important to factor in because we have a 25-year-old building, and so we would have had money to pay for some more things if we had known, if we had a crystal ball to see that the county was going to have a need to revise its NGO funding policies. We would have had more funding available because we had been planning for depreciation.
Yeah, I'm assuming your crystal ball is the same as ours, right?
Right, exactly. It doesn't work 100%.
And if you can't say it, I understand. $200,000 in 24, that's a big loss. What was that attributed to?
I mean, part of
And I
it,
know you weren't the director.
what?
You weren't the director at that time?
I was not. I
Yeah.
was in the aquatics department at that time.
Yeah.
Mhm. We have a lot less administrative staff than we did in that year.
Okay.
But it does make it harder for us to do things like run our website efficiently and our Facebook, and it makes it hard for us to start new programs. When we have our capacity damaged, like that by losing administrative staff.
What was the increase, one time, Switzerland County was paying pretty much the most for the swim program, or the swim fees. Has South Ripley and Rising Sun stepped up?
Yeah, in 2024, their contracts tripled the amount that they pay for the annual fee for them to use our lanes. That we are doing some studies with, like membership analysis, facility needs assessment. So they're getting their updates from Southeastern Indiana YMCA.
How much are you guys working with, like, the area corporations? Because I'm at the YMCA on a regular basis, and I see a lot of Kentucky plates,
Yeah,
from time to time. But are we talking to Nucor, Dow, Mass,
Our
every
board
corporation
is-
that's up and down that road?
our board is trying to develop connections with the steel. We just need to talk to the right people over there and identify who they would be. But I personally have reached out and I have not heard anything back.
Can I speak to
Yeah.
that? Mind if I come up to, I'm now the board president. What I understand about Belterra is they're giving the community foundation a certain amount of money every year for their NGO
Yeah.
things. And I don't even know who the general manager is anymore, so.
We'll have a meeting
First
on
name's
Wednesday morning,
Chris.
so.
Just can't think of his last name. The operations manager is Heather Holt.
Heather Holtz.
I can have them.
Okay, you want to attend the meeting and get some money? It's up to you.
Yeah,
Is that the
and,
direction you're wanting to do? 80 grand is a lot of money.
yeah, we don't have it. But I think we need to have Mr. Hyde. He's volunteered his services,
Okay, great.
so I don't know if he's on the board or he's been asked to be on the board.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll get with you afterwards or tomorrow.
Can we be invited to the August 26th meeting?
Sure.
Only one of us can go, otherwise we have a quorum. You want to go to that meeting?
Yeah, that's fine.
Joe will come to your August 26th meeting.
Yeah, and it might be a good idea for us to adapt change the bylaws to have an appointee or somebody from the commissioners on our board.
Yeah, one thing from yesterday, there was a comment made about who owns the building. And I wasn't clear on that.
Well, the board of directors owns the building. And if the organization is to dissolve, then the county has first option of ownership of the building.
First ownership if you give it to us?
Well, it would belong to the county if the county wanted it. If the county didn't want the property in the building, then it would have to go to an organization of like purpose. This is my understanding from Eric Cole.
That sounds kind of right for one.
I think
It's always been very gray. When I was on the board, it was always like we talked, it's a gray area, so.
But wasn't it? I don't know the history. Was this originally a county building?
I don't know.
What about it?
Sarah can
Yeah.
answer, Sarah can answer all
Yeah,
those
for the
questions.
first 5 years, it had a community focus fund grant, which the county was pretty much the owner of all those community focus fund grants. So then it reverts to the nonprofit board. And most nonprofits, if there's a dissolution clause where if it dissolves, it goes to another nonprofit. That's like, I guess maybe, I wasn't anything but a member when the county paid off the mortgage. And possibly to change the bylaws, or I guess it would have to be the articles.
The articles of incorporation.
Incorporation to make you the first, I guess the owner's of first refusal or something.
So we paid for
The taxpayers.
it. Okay. I'm a supporter of the Y. Don't get me wrong. There's a lot of questions, and we don't have the 80,000 right now. And what, you have 2 months of operating costs?
Yes, that,
And what's the deadline with the YMCA national of, hey, you have to have a 3rd month by this date?
well, we're about 2 months into a 6-month agreement to explore the feasibility of partnering with another YMCA. Does that answer your question?
Yeah. But I guess where I'm frustrated is you're 2 months in, now we're hearing about this. So basically you really only have 2 months, even though there's 4 months left on the contract. And then, I explained my frustration yesterday with the roof issue. We came to you well before March 14th of that deadline. And, I said at that time, we don't have $1 million to give you for a new roof. But it would have been a lot less painful to pay higher premiums over 20 years than someone asking us for $752
Well,
million.
we have a contract with insurance claims adjuster, so we did follow up on that advice.
Right,
We
but
did.
one of those outfits comes with a percentage that he gets, or she gets, my understanding.
The lawyer or the,
SPG?
They are a roof contractor. We are working with Premier Claims. That's our claim adjuster.
Okay,
They work on contingency, so if we don't get a higher payout for that claim, they don't get anything.
what's the lawyer fees?
They bill about $500 an hour. So we're trying to figure out what the roof replacement costs would be to see if that's something that we would, even a road that we would be able to go down. And like I said, our cash flow position is not such that we would make a decision to hire a lawyer that bills $500 an hour lightly.
Don't get any ideas.
I'm not sure if, you guys couldn't pay for us to represent them, but we could represent as long as the parties aren't adverse.
That's all I had.
I know time's of the essence. Joe brings a valid point. I think we'd all feel better. Joe came to your meeting, had a lot more questions answered. The last thing in the world I want to see is a YMCA fall apart, obviously.
so
Yeah,
But before we give out $80,000 of everybody else's money in the county, we want to make sure that all these questions are answered and that we are keeping the Y together by giving $80,000.
Yeah.
Not giving $80,000 and it's going to get crashed into YUSA in Batesville 30 days later, that's a scary thought.
That's
That's just
understandable.
flushing $80,000 down the drain. So I think right after that meeting, we can do this again. We should have all the facts by now.
I don't know.
thanks.
Thank you.
Ryan?
I've been exploring some costs on on-site fuel. The fuel's high. I'm estimated to run over my fuel budget. I think the sheriff was almost gone with their fuel budget. The last BSR I looked at, out of 35,000, they only had about 5,000 left. So I started calling some of the fuel companies. Lothbury Valley is already supplying him with diesel. We looked at getting fuel at our building. They are not doing any contracted fuel right now. He said that if we wanted to go that route, the rate would be high just because of how volatile the market is right now, and they recommend not doing a contract right now. So we're using about 800 gallons a month. So their recommendation was put a 1,000-gallon tank at our building. You would buy At Friday, the gas was $3.40 a gallon. Today, it's $3.45 a gallon. So 1,000 gallons of gas, $3.45 a gallon. They supply the tank, no cost. The card reader, no cost. The report would go to the auditor's office, I guess the same way your report does.
Yeah, well, we could get bill statements directly to
I've talked to Clinton Earls. I've talked to Brian. They're not opposed to trying to save some money and using the tank behind our building if we put this in. The question would be, who pays to fill it up the first time? If we're all dipping into it. So it would cost about $3,450 to fill it up the first time. And then after that, the fees can be start taking out of the sheriff's account, my account, health department, whoever else is going to key fob that gas.
Did you just say diesel?
They have diesel.
Yes.
We're going to get gas. We've only got one diesel vehicle, so.
Well, I would think that the sheriff's department would be pumping gas more than, we hope that the sheriff's department's pumping more gas than you.
Do they have a place to put the tank though? They don't.
Yeah.
So we've got that gravel lot behind our building. Put a 1,000 gallon tank back there. It has a tank monitor on it. Once it starts dropping to a certain level, they'll come fill it back up.
Have to have any type of containment around it or anything?
Not with the tank that they're gonna drop off. It's a double wall steel. This needs a 110 outlet, which we got on the back of the building. Would it be smart sometime to hardwire it in? But he said extension cord's fine. So as I was running some numbers just based off the BSR, our fuel savings would be $5,600 a year. The sheriff's fuel savings would be around $7,500 a year. We'd have to keep the fuel cards for when you can't buy fuel in town. And then whatever the sheriff, I know the sheriff can make his own rules, so whatever he decides to do, but it's from my quick conversation I had with both of them, they're on board to try to save some money if they can get fuel in town. So I know the health department uses fuel, Wes uses fuel. I think the building department uses fuel in town. Is there anybody else in town that is accessing fuel? The card system will take up to 25 fobs. So the fob would say which vehicle it is. Everybody will have their own driver's code. They zap the fuel off the tank, comes in a report. It'd be up to Tina to sort that report.
And how many gallons a week or a month did you say?
We're using 800
A month?
a month. So the
You're not
sheriff's,
gonna
the
make
sheriff's
2
department's probably
weeks,
double
you're gonna
that.
Fill that tank back.
He's here every week, he said.
Well, not quite, because if you're saving 5,700, hit 7,700.
Yeah.
Then.
I mean, those two numbers alone are 13,000 on an estimate per year.
So just call him 1,000 and do 800, so 1,800 a month.
Yeah.
Twice a month.
And they said if the 1,000 gallon isn't big enough that they'll swap it with a 2,000, but he don't want to do that with gas because how gas goes bad.
That's
Yeah,
what we
it'll
have
go bad
in
in
the
a
shop.
What?
I don't think it'll go bad in a month.
No, it's not gonna go bad in a week. So I mean, he said he would put a 2,000 in if we wanted 2,000. I don't think a 2,000 is a bad idea.
That's what we have in the shop for diesel.
No, I think if we went.
Only get 4 miles a gallon, so
Right, yeah.
There's still gonna be those times where we have to have the WEX card.
Yeah.
If we have a busy day and we got to get fuel in Madison or Lawrenceburg, if the sheriff goes on board and says, yes, I'm going to use this too, he's going to have times where he's going to buy fuel at some gas station somewhere.
Well, as far as fill up, I would assume sheriff would be willing to go half on that anyway. For the initial.
But that's what I was saying, like, even if you guys just paid the $3,450, the money's going to come right back as soon as you start pulling it out of the account. I mean, the first cycle of the bill, she runs it, it's going to come right out of the budgeted money. So.
How will you charge it to each entity?
The card reader system generates a report, and it'll say which key fobs pulled fuel out of there, and then we just have to say yes, those are. And I'm assuming because it's at my building, I'll have to program the key fobs, which I have no problem doing. But we're supposed to be able to set it up by department, so it'll say like this department with these
So
key
basically
fobs,
when the statement or billing comes.
just like the WEX bill. He said it would come very similar to the WEX bill,
X amount comes out of
Yeah.
sheriff's fund.
and they're handling all the tax exempt. They got all the
Yeah, that's
paperwork.
over there, and it automatically shoots it to that each.
Yeah.
Office pays that bill. Because my key fob, little black key fob, that's unique to my name.
Yeah.
And my vehicle license plate.
So
Assign.
he's saying he can do 25 fobs. We would assign him to vehicles, and then it doesn't matter. You just put the fob on the vehicle key, and then every driver can have an individual code. So we don't need a fob for every employee. You just put it on the key fob on the keys. So every vehicle would have a
And
fob.
the auditor's office just pulls that money out of each respective divisions.
Yeah.
account is how it-
Yeah, like I said, my question is who just fills it the first time?
Doesn't really matter, does it?
It's going to come back. I mean, it's just there's going to be a delay in getting it back
Some
from
portion
the
of it.
from the fund. Yeah. So 1,000 gallons would be 34.50. He said he doesn't have a card reader in stock, so he'd have to order one. So there is a possibility that that price could change. Like I said, Friday it was $3.40 a gallon. All he really guaranteed is that it would be cheaper than any gas at the gas station, and it's all U.S. fuels. It comes out of the Illinois basin, so all the fuels come from the same place at their own refinery.
Well, I mean, it's all great, and then we're gonna save money, but for us to spend money to fill the tank, we have to know what it's gonna cost to fill the tank, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, right now, if we filled it today, it'd be $34.50.
There's no other fees to get it there? just
No,
sign up for
that
anything?
is, he told me that's what the fee is.
Tank rent, nothing like that?
The tank and the fob system's all included in the deal, no charge.
They make their money off.
You said it was Lutheran Valley?
And he said there's nothing else to set the account up. He just had to make a sub in it for the other delivery place. So, and he's got all the tax exempt stuff.
And how long did he think that the fob stuff would take?
As soon as I give him a yes, he can get it ordered, he said. So he didn't really give me a time frame on how long it'd take to get the fob, so. And it's mounted directly to the tank somehow.
I mean, to me, it sounds like,
In the end, it should save money, no matter what. I mean, even if, say the sheriff says, "Oh, I just don't want to do that deal," we're still gonna, our service alone is gonna save $6,000.
Yeah, I would, all in favor of having our own system. So I guess tonight,
I mean, we have the money somewhere. It's sitting in somebody's account. It's just who chunks up the first set of change to pay for the fuel that we buy.
Right.
It's technically county gas.
I guess I'd make a motion to approve up to 3,800 to do the initial fill, purchase our own tank and do the initial fill of that tank, for SCER and the sheriff department, actually for county entities.
Anybody's got a county car could get fuel there on. The biggest thing is you're buying all the gas at one time, so you don't have to worry about what's the gas gonna cost tomorrow.
all right, I'll second that motion. All in favor?
Aye.
So what fund?
Commissioners, I assume.
You said the money somewhere.
That's what I said. There's money set there.
It's somewhere.
There's $6,100 coming from that Green Corners ambulance. There you
So
go.
we're gonna forget that it's supposed to be coming back, so.
Fill up and down.
I have one more thing that kind of came up over the last couple days. There's been,
Just,
Garrett had a
I just want to clarify, so we have internal procedures already in place, these WEX cards that we just adopt for this, is that?
We have a internal procedure for the credit card. Somebody gets a credit card. The WEX cards are each assigned to, like I have one that the courthouse personnel uses, but they have their own, the highway has their own,
Every deputy.
the sheriff's office, Tommore, health department doesn't have one, do they? But they have their own, unique code that they put in when they're at the gas pump.
As long as we already have a procedure in place, if we don't, then we need to make sure we prepare a procedure before we start utilizing this, but if we have a similar procedure, then we can just adopt that.
The procedure that the ordinance for the credit card itself is, I would say another one needs to be implemented just for the simple fact that everybody, you don't want me to get your fob and your number and go fill up my card.
So we'll
my
need to
gas.
follow up with the policy then.
I would recommend that.
It wouldn't-
just for
it
the
wouldn't really
simple
be
fact
in-
of
I wanted to
what
check
that's-
it wouldn't be any really different because every vehicle has its own credit card. And we put the mileage in and we put the driver's number. This one here is going to be pretty much the same way, minus the mileage. it'll
Now
have,
I don't have to have that credit card, I just have to have the key fob and your number. I can go fill up my.
Just a fob, it sounds like, don't even have to have a number.
Yeah,
good news
so,
is, we got
I
a
mean,
camera on the back of the building.
I know,
so-
but I'm just saying that one time that somebody, I don't know, we have $100 charge on there and.
Yeah.
You're like, we didn't do it, sure, nobody does it and everybody's,
We got a camera on the back of the building.
yeah.
Position it right on the tank.
Should we sit down, or who's the best person for me to sit down with to make sure?
I mean, I can kind of give you a copy of what we have for the credit
Okay.
card.
I'll take care of it.
and then we
The
can go from
process is
there.
gonna be really similar.
Okay.
Yeah, it'll be the same, but to be more specific for that gas, right now it's just yeah, I think it's,
And one other thing that came up that I wanted to bring up is there's been several fire department fires recently involving vehicles plugged in bays. So I took it up on myself to make sure we were covered. And there's not one single smoke detector where we parked the vehicles. So Wes has.
Meaning at SCEO.
Yes. Yeah, if one of those vehicles was to catch fire, it would be roaring before the smoke detectors in the house caught it. So talk to Wes, we get some approval to get somebody down there to link the fire alarms that we have installed in the front of the building to the fire alarms in the back of the building. So if something does catch on fire out there, we know it before it gets from one building into the new building. Because right now, there's 3 smoke alarms in the front of the building. They're in the 2 old bedrooms and the office. Where the vehicles are parked, there's not one smoke detector.
Well, what's the company's name that,
fire alarm system,
Fast?
yeah.
I guess we just need to have them come in there and give us an idea what this is gonna.
Probably one above each parked vehicle would cover it. And then just make sure it's linked into the system in the back so that if one goes off, they all go off. Because the back of the house is wired like that already.
Ryan, you don't call
No.
the sheriff's office, because you're there all the time, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess step one, have them come in and tell us what that's gonna
Yeah, just
cost.
pop a couple out there because right now there's no coverage in that bay if something was to catch on fire. Smoke would have to get into the side offices and then once again, by then, whatever's on fire is burning good, so.
What was the fire guy telling us earlier at the shop? He said we couldn't put any in the engine bays, because every time you start something, it's gonna set them off.
Well, if you weld it yourself.
Oh, it was welded.
Yeah, diesel smoke.
Yeah. Okay. That was just, well,
Yeah, we don't leave anything really
maybe
running
the gas-
inside, so.
Yeah, maybe the gas going in and out won't affect them.
Yeah, I guess call them and get an idea what that's gonna be.
Because Wes was gonna hook me up with that, and then, I'll get ahold of these guys and see how long the delay is on getting that tank down there and get it going.
Yeah, school uses that a lot for Valley Smoke.
Yeah, he said he's here every week, so, and the tank has a monitor on it that as soon as it drops below a certain level, it sends them a message and they come fill it up.
Thank you. Ken?
I'm here because we have a position, the food inspector, that has been funded through the local health maintenance since about, my numbers are about 2015, through the 1168 fund. That fund's going to be depleted by July, August of next year. Prior to it being in the 1168, which is local health maintenance, it was funded by our 1159 fund, which is our general fund. And I think that was around 2004 to about 2015. So I'm here to see if we can reactivate. We've already had that number, I count the 4117 that was already there. So I'm just asking to have that reactivated into our 1159 fund.
It's just
Would that be a
moving from one
council
fund to
function
another.
or?
Well, I think when we get to the finances, it sure will be. When they decide what they want to do about funding, it sure will be. But tonight is just about activating the account into the 1159. so that we can have that discussion with the council.
So it's dead, it's a dormant account now?
It's been inactive, I think, since 2015 is what my numbers came up to.
Currently, under the 1159, the 4917, it's there as an inactive account line. There's no funds in it, nothing's been allocated for that since 2015. It was in the 1168. So now that 1168 is not going to be funded, she wants to bring it back over to 1159. That's why she's asking the commissioners, because it's like bringing a new position. If she wants to hire someone, she wants to bring it back to the 1159. Did you put it in your budget
Yes,
under the 1159?
yes.
Okay.
So what's the account number that you want to reactivate?
4117, 1159, 114117.
1159.
Fund is 1159.
Questions?
What'd you say the position was?
Food inspector.
It's a food inspector and pool inspector and clerical.
So we just need a motion to open up the 1159 account,
Reactivate.
reactivate. I make a motion to reactivate the account 1159.
4117. 1159 is the fund.
Yeah, accountants.
Okay. I'll revise it to reactivating 4117.
I'll say.
All in favor?
Thanks.
Thank you. Any board reports? I don't have any.
The foundation met, but it was a meeting of just approving basic minutes and nothing happened. I don't know.
Sarah just wants to give you guys.
I'm on the regional planning board for you guys, and I just wanted to give you an update on the income survey. Mary McCarty got in touch and she said they haven't gotten enough replies back. So I just wanted to, if anybody's watching, if you get one of those letters for the income survey, it really is anonymous. And please return it if you don't own the building, if you're a renter, please put your own income, because what they're trying to do is establish a better average income in the community. And if we come in as low to moderate income, we'll be eligible for a lot of grant money, including the comprehensive plan, and that's what this is going for. And I just wanted to.
Did those letters go out to every?
No, it's
Okay,
totally
I never-
random. They just, in regional planning, they just send them out to random addresses. We had to give them like all the addresses in the county and they just go out.
Okay.
So anybody, if you get one, please send it back, put your income on it.
I'm probably confused. Is this the survey that we actually paid for? Or
Yeah.
the grant that we wanted to try and apply for?
Yeah. But the income survey costs, I don't know, $8,000 or
It
$10,000.
was 8 or 10,000, yeah.
Yeah, and the grant is $50,000 or $60,000.
Right.
But if we get that income survey, if it comes out the way I think it should, because the census count was, I think, wrong, then we'd be eligible for more water and sewer. I mean, the county would be eligible for water and sewer and community buildings and all kinds of other Okra grants. So it'd be a really good thing for getting more federal money.
Do you know when the surveys went out?
Just, I think like a month ago, but I just got this letter a couple days ago, Herschel and I, about not having enough return. And so they put it out again.
The reason I ask is because my guess is if people didn't fill it out and send it in, they probably already threw it away. So do you
Yeah.
know if it'll be
I think,
sent
I think
again?
it'll be a total different bunch of addresses. I'm not sure about that, but they're just gonna redo it.
Because I wanted to ask people, please fill it out because obviously we need your help in order to apply for those grants.
Right.
Spent a lot of money on it.
I sent the letter to Mr. Height to see if he could put it out. But she sent a letter that was Okra approved, that was unbiased about explaining what this income survey was for. And I asked SIEOC if they would share it, the letter, explaining this survey to the people that they serve. And so hopefully I'll get
We
more
shared the letter on
responses.
our Facebook page, our government
I
site.
haven't seen the letter.
Yeah, I put it on VV Gossip.
Can we get a copy of it? We'll put it on
Sure,
the government
sure,
site.
sure.
as well.
Do you want me
Just
to send
email
it to you?
one to me and I can get it out there.
Okay. It's pretty current, so not. Okay, any questions?
You know, I wonder if you could have letters that you'd have to get school approval at the back to school functions that are coming up.
Yeah, and, you know, the thing is, the letters have to come from regional planning because they have to be random for that, but to let people know that it's very safe to fill out those letters and,
Thank you, sir.
I'll send it.
Wesley showed me some photos of our very large oak tree next to the courthouse, and the air conditioners, which would be the west side of the courthouse. It's split all the way up now. What did they call that? Split?
They call it a crying split. The water gets down in it, it just starts rotting it out. It's split on 3 sides. It was just split on 2, now there's a third split. And it comes up into four times. I mean, I'm not saying it's coming down today, but it's going to come down.
But what about, isn't one of the trees in the front dead? I thought you said a few weeks ago that,
We got that. Oh,
I thought there was a tree out front that,
that's the sycamore trees on the outside of the fence.
yeah.
Yeah, they're hollow. But that's not ours,
I was gonna say, I think those are property of the town, right?
I guess.
So I guess step one is to get a hold of some timber buyers.
It's on the other side.
Get a hold of some timber buyers and see what,
Right.
you know, what's out there, I guess.
We should get some bids and then unless, we don't have a contract for general maintenance from anybody, right? We signed, those are just grass and landscaping.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just get some bids and then.
The downfall of that's piping that goes in to the building, I'm sure it's in the roots. But it's about a foot off the air conditioner right now. You might not be able to dig the stump up without some issues.
Could they maybe just run the grinder over it just to get it a couple inches under the surface?
I want to make sure we have a good contract with whoever's doing that work.
It's definitely gonna, it's split, it's gonna get both buildings. Or, might stop and look at it sometime.
Yeah, I guess reach out, start getting an idea where we're at with, where it falls on our courthouse. Anything from the audience?
Yeah. Anybody who wants to help the Y, they're gonna start their annual campaign before long. And for $501, your business or personally, you would have your name on one of the big, fall downs that would circle the gym. And be sure and talk to your tax accountant to be sure, but it's my understanding that for 2026, $2,000 will be, you can deduct $2,000 for charitable contributions without having to itemize. So that's just a $2,000 right off the bat. So if you want to do more than $501, you can go up to $2,000 to be fully deductible on your forms this year. And you should probably check with your accountant, be sure that I haven't misread that or something like that. Just a comment.
Thank you.
I'll make the motion to adjourn.
I'll second.
All in favor?
All right.
You have 45 seconds?
Oh, yeah. Forgot about that. Forgot your